Hi, my name is Rob Duvall and welcome to Halton Tech Today. On today's episode, we're going to be talking to Ben Zimmer from Enable Training. They build robots, but they build robots in a very special way. They do it with Lego and they take it completely to the next level. So let's go inside and see what it is about this exciting company that takes engineering to the next step. Hi, we're here with Ben Zimmer at Enable Training, and we're going to walk through and find out what it is that they design here at Enable. So, Ben, walk us through and take us through your wonderful location.
Great.
Here.
Well, welcome. Glad to have you here. There's really three branches of the company. There's Enable Engineering, there's Enable Education, and there's Enable Publishing. And I'd be happy to talk to you about the things that we do in each of those. And it's been a really interesting kind of growth for us over the last few years, as we really started as an engineering, really a software development company. And because of that expertise, in particular working with the FIRST robotics program, we started creating some training videos to teach kids how to do that same thing that we were doing as professionals. And that part of the business really grew, and subsequently we started calling that Enable Education.
Right.
And really that is creating educational resources for other companies. So we don't actually do a lot of training. We create videos for other companies, and those companies deliver that training online, in classrooms sometimes as supporting videos, on the web, in apps. So that's a very, very common delivery mechanism.
Well, obviously there's a big demand for it, because I saw where you were before and you're exploding. So you've got a lot more people working here now in this new location, which is absolutely beautiful. But yeah, I can see why that would be a real big push, because more and more people are starting to use technology. And you've figured out a way to bring a lot of the fun with the technology, which is a real hard mix to do, because anyone can throw apps together and just make this stuff, but you've actually taken something that's physical, and to make that connection is huge. So yeah, so maybe you could just walk us through some of the things you do.
Great. Well, one of the key things for us in making an office move is having room to grow. So we've got nice pods, lots of room for people to sit in. We've got a nice sitting area here, and the big picture goal here is we're at 22 people now.
Wow.
Having grown from kind of 4 to 8 to 10 to 15 to 20 over the last 3 years. Really flourishing under both the education and the engineering side. And growing the publishing side, which I'll talk about later. But anyway, so I'm happy to give you a tour. So as you come in, we've got this nice little sitting area.
I love it.
It's been kind of the goal. It's really funny asking people to bring in whatever kind of antique-y retro stuff they had for this display section. And I think a lot of people's parents emptied their basements. And so there's a lot of cleaning to do for this stuff.
I'll tell you what, I'll donate some stuff. I've got some old computers kicking around, that's for sure.
So it's fun. And the reality is we do so many different things, audio, video, programming, that it's really easy to have old instrumentation and typewriters and fun robotic stuff kind of hanging around. It's a bit inspirational.
You bet.
It's fun. And it kind of sets a casual tone.
Excellent.
And so maybe we'll go around to the left here. People are sitting in general areas that match their tasks. So over here is primarily the education section. And right now we've got several projects on the go for companies like Lego Education and FIRST Robotics. And this is very typical that there's a lot of back and forth, a lot of people working together. These are, in this case, both Andrew and Matt are certified teachers.
Oh, great. So,
what has been, I think, the linchpin for our success creating educational resources is having that teacher expertise at the center. We've got, our process kind of flows from teachers to technical writing to graphic design to audio and video production, and then delivering as websites and apps and the like. But, and you can go anywhere and find someone to do any one of those tasks. But you can always find a web developer. You can always find a technical writer. But I think the key to our success has been having all those people working together, literally talking together every day, being able to yell over to the graphic design person and say, does this work? Is this color okay? And going back to the teacher to make sure to say, hey, this has turned out to be a 17-minute video. Is that too long for 8-year-olds? And the teacher's going to be like, yeah, that's way too long.
So things that you wouldn't normally think about.
Exactly. And where a lot of, I would say, our competitors act as project managers to bring disparate people together, are from different subcontractors. What we do by having all this in-house is make our process super streamlined, really efficient. And so our costs and our capability to turn things around really quickly is really high.
You also hire a lot of students too, and is that why you do that mix? Like, so you have the teachers doing their part, but you also bring in that fresh idea. Have you ever had like students go, "Hey, we should be doing this," and go, "Wow, we never thought of that"?
Absolutely, absolutely, every day. I mean, that's why they're here. I mean, there's a couple benefits to having co-op students, and we have right now 4 co-op students from the University of Waterloo, and they fill a few different roles, and one of them is definitely to offer that expertise of the fresh view of someone who may have been in that high school role just a couple of years ago, or maybe currently in the same university role, to be able to say, I think that's too fast, too slow, too hard, too easy, too boring.
Right.
To offer that kind of perspective. And the other piece of it is because we need to keep costs down. We need to be flexible to changes in the market. That co-op students are a really effective way, when they're managed really well, to get value. Because there are great tax credits for it,
right?
And also to be able to expand and modify your workplace numbers pretty easily without having to lay people off or to drastically hire a bunch of people here and there.
And it gives them great, exposure and opportunity, because they normally wouldn't have that opportunity in a school environment. I mean, that's pretty costly to keep changing it like that, and because you're an industry, you're kind of on the leading edge. So obviously that gives them experience they just wouldn't have. Yeah. And I remember when you were talking at Small Business Week last year, you brought that up to everybody in that room, saying utilize the students as much as you can, because they bring a fresh perspective, and it also helps them as well as helps you. So that's awesome. Well, let's take a look at your toys.
For sure.
I want to take a look and see all the things that you actually make.
I would love to.
The minute that I found out, and this is going back about a year, that you did things with Lego, I couldn't think of anything that says kids more than Lego.
Oh, that's so true.
So just the fact that you actually have brought the whole engineering part of that into something that is so kid-friendly is phenomenal. I just absolutely love the idea, and just even looking at some of the stuff around here, quite frankly, if I had this stuff in school when I was going to school, I would have been showing up every day on time early. So that would have been obviously my time differential is starting to show here. But
well, you know what, Rob, the funny thing is that I've got co-op students. Some of them are in their first year of school, and they're maybe 17 or 18 years old, and they look at some of this stuff and they say, wow, I wish they had that when I was in school.
Right.
And that was like 4 months ago.
So so I'm no different, obviously. That's great. Well, maybe you can start off with starting off with the grade school stuff and working our way up and taking a look what it is that you've accomplished here.